Got the roof right over way down inside. Honey, you keep cooling.
Heroes!
Hurry up.
Super Goal!
I'm Wonder Woman, and the reason I'm here is because this wonderful, beautiful world would not exist without the fabulous wild salmon. They help our forests grow. They are the life cycle, and I need to protect. That's what sustains us, so I'm here to protect that. And I will do everything I can in order to get the fish farms out and people eating healthy and taking care of themselves, not pumping themselves full of drugs with the farm salmon. So I hereby ask everybody who is listening to this to please step up and protect that which has taken care of you, and make sure that the people who are deeming your health into the ground, get them out of here and ask them to start changing their ways.
I'm here because we only have one shot to save the wild salmon. This is it. We've got to save them from the corporate greed.
DFO are the guardians of the cod on the east coast, and look what happened there. They let wild cod on the east coast of Canada go down. And now you've got the oil industry expanding on the east coast, and the wild cod and the fishermen and the coastal communities that depend upon that wild fish are now dead. What DFO are now doing here on the west coast of Canada in British Columbia is killing off the wild salmon, the Pacific wild salmon. You've got Norwegian-owned companies farming Atlantic salmon, an alien species here in the Pacific. DFO is known as the Dead Fish Organization or the Department of Fish Obituaries. If we allow DFO to sell out to the Norwegian companies, we're killing off our wild salmon. We need to get DFO to start listening to the people, the wild salmon people, to the Pacific salmon, and stop the expansion of Norwegian-owned companies killing off our wild salmon, spreading infectious diseases and sea lice to wild fish. We need safe passage for those wild salmon as they run the gauntlet past those disease-infested farms. Get those farms out the ocean now, and we have some real champions in Finn Donnelly MP, who is promoting closed containment and the immediate removal of farms from the wild salmon narrows. And the Suoer Heroes, our next mission is to go to the wild salmon narrows on the 26th of April. We're going to Campbell River to visit the companies. 3 Norwegian companies own 92% of BC salmon farms. We're going to go and tell them to get out. We're going to give them eviction notices. We're going to go to their farms and show the public the crap, the shit under the salmon cages. And we're going to expose the truth of this Norwegian-owned industry. And we're going to tell DFO that they need to start listening to the people and stand up for wild salmon. They've been here for millennia. The First Nations have fed off the salmon and the forests and the eagles and the bears and the orcas. And if we don't stand up right now as superheroes, then that will be gone. This is a corporate sell-off. This is, the public have not been told, but 20 or 30 years ago, the Norwegians were effectively given control of BC salmon farms. The Canadian government, the federal government, has sold wild salmon down the river. The BC public have not been told about this. This is against the interests of the province of British Columbia. 85% of British Columbians want wild Pacific salmon as their icon. 80% of British Columbians want closed containment of salmon farms. The federal government, Stephen Harper and the Conservatives, is not listening to the people. We, the wild salmon people, and Tom Tom here, the wild Pacific salmon, want to tell Stephen Harper that he should really listen to what's going on in British Columbia. He's in out of touch with the province, and here in the coastal west coast where there's wild abundance, we want to stand up for that. We don't want tar sands and dirty oil exported out through our province and the Enbridge pipeline and oil tankers and salmon farms. We want the wild coast. We want the wild salmon people, Pacific salmon. We want healthy ecosystems, and the New Democratic Party and the Greens are presenting that vision. The Conservative vision is dead. We don't want dirty oil. We don't want the Conservatives. They have contempt for the marine environment and ecosystems and the wild salmon people. So get the Conservatives out, get salmon farms out, vote with your feet on the 2nd of May in the election, and come with us, wild salmon people. Stand with Alexander Morton on the 1st of May as we walk 20 kilometers from Sydney to Victoria. We have a rally on the BC Parliament lawn. Ton here will walk 20 kilometers, and thousands of people will gather. They will mass and tell the government that the time is to protect wild salmon, not those Norwegian companies, those dirty, disease-infested Norwegian companies, and shield that from public scrutiny.
You know why DFO supports fish farms? It's a system. I rub your back, you rub mine. My government gives you support. You give me a seat on your corporate board when I retire. It's as simple as that.
Industry rules government. Industry rules government.